Okay, guys, let's look at today's math. It is on multi-digit addition and subtraction. We have discussed many strategies for adding and subtracting numbers. You're welcome to use any strategy that you want. And then, of course, you can always check your work with a calculator. If you want to practice that strategy of stretching out that number in expanded form, and I probably won't be able to work the whole thing out using this pen, but for that second problem that is subtraction, this is how we would have taught that. We would have stretched that number all the way out, representing every place value. That's 700, I apologize. And then we would have subtracted, and that does a really good job of showing what we mean when we say we're borrowing. So like right here, you have 0 ones. So if you go over here and borrow from the tens, then you decrease that number by 10, and then you add 10 to here. So you would have 7. And then we would borrow from the hundreds place. This would become 140. I would add that to that. And then when I subtract 140 minus 60, I would end up with 80. And then over here, this would go all the way down to 8,000. And then I would add that 1,000 to that 100 that was there. So I'd have 1,100. This is 700. So 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100. I would have 400. And I wouldn't have any thousands left. So that number would be, that answer would be 487 using the model that we taught in class. Also, your parents are welcome to show you borrow and carry the more simplified way. The hardest part of this assignment is going to be figuring out whether you need to add and subtract. So let's read about Carolyn. She did a survey about fruit, and she's got this many people that like blueberries, this many people that like strawberries, and this many people that like bananas. So how many people were surveyed? So for this problem, you are going to be asked to add up those three numbers. You're not going to subtract on that one. So then you would stack those three numbers up and add them together. I'm going to skip down to this one. Hottest day of the year, community pool had a record number of visitors. Okay, so you've got a number for adults and a number for children. This is one of the most tricky because it says how many more. And what happens when you hear the word more, you automatically want to add because more means you get more, you add. But actually, they were wanting to see the difference between this number. They're saying there were this many children. Now, if I take away how many adults there were, then I can see the difference or how many more children there were than adults. Okay, so that how many more usually means that you're finding the difference and you're subtracting. So don't let that trick you. I know sometimes that would trick you in class. If you need additional help on this, please send us a message and we can do a Google Meet and work through some of these together. I know there is a lot of reading. The main thing is just to find your two numbers or three in the problem and then read that last question. Like on this one, how much money did Chris have in his savings before making his new purchase? Okay, so I've got to go back. He had to use this much from his savings. After his purchase, he had this much left. Okay, so I know he still has this much in there. Prior to spending the money for his air conditioner, he spent this much on his air conditioner. So I know that prior to the air conditioner breaking, this money was with that money. So he had a lot of money in his savings account. So you would add here, you would add this 9,735 plus 7,846. All right, guys, those are just a few directions for math. Let me know if you need any extra help on that.